Hi guys, thank you for joining me. So I'm not gonna talk too loud. Hope you can hear me. My daughter has company over for movie night. So I'm using my headset. But what I did was I figured out how to make this fringe that I showed you how to make. I'm going back through it and making it into more like a tassel look. I thought that would look better for the jute. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So I use a clip to hold down, and I've got 3 left to do, so you'll get to see it 3 times, and then we're going to cut it because I haven't even cut it. I don't even know what it's going to look like. Okay, so just watch. I'll do it 3 times. So you separate all of your string and make sure you look at the back because I have missed it before. Okay, so we've got our complete tassel, and I showed you how to make these pieces in the last video. I'm just showing you how I'm trying to connect them to look more like a tassel instead of fringe. Okay, so what we're doing is, and I'm wearing Addie. It's hard to work. So what we did was we came down from the last one. Now we need to travel over to the next one. And what we're going to do is we're just going to come under our loop from these loops that we use to connect it to our stitches that we use to connect it to the previous row. We're just going to weave through that. Okay, now we want to come up into this tassel, so we're just gonna go in, or just poke your needle wherever it goes. Okay, and it doesn't want to go there, it's too hard and my hands hurt. Okay, so you just, and I've had it like to the area I'm working on to the right the whole time. Okay, I have no idea what they're watching. It sounds like a lot going on, doesn't it? Okay, now this you gotta watch. Okay, and I'm kind of doing a mock wrap to make it look like a tassel. Okay, so you're going to grab your whole tassel pieces, right? This is our string that we're using, right? And you're going to put it under. Okay, see, we got this loop sticking out here. You're going to put your hand under the string and you're going to pinch that. Okay, so we've got this loop, we've ran it under, and then we are going to put our needle through that loop. Okay, and that one stitch is what makes it look like a tassel. Okay, now we have to come back up through our tassel. However, sometimes it doesn't need it, actually. Okay, so we're coming up, we're coming back to our last ring, our last coil. We're coming back up out of the tassel now. Okay, all right, now we're going to clip that down because we're done with it. Okay, now we just to keep it neat so we don't have, you know, any zigzags going on and stuff, we're going to come through the connecting stitch on the previous row, and we're going to come through this one, the next one. We're just traveling over to the next tassel. Okay, we're literally doing, let me get this because I don't want it to mark on my table. Okay, like here's our round ring, right? Okay, and here's our tassels. Okay, what we're doing is we're traveling to the next one, we're coming up, we're making our loop, and we're coming back. And we're traveling, and we're coming up, we're making our loop, and we're coming back. And we're going to the next one, we're coming up, we're making our loop, and coming back. Okay? Sorry if that was obvious. So again, we've got our clipped it down. We're pulling our tassel out, our next one. Okay? We're making sure we have all of it on the back, yes, because I have missed 2 before I figured out to check every time. Okay? Now we are at the next one. Sometimes you don't need a stitch to go up, but this time it looks like I do. Sometimes it looks okay, and sometimes you do need to make a travel stitch. Okay, that's what we'll call it. We'll call it a travel stitch. So we're coming down into our tassel. Okay? And we're going to wrap it under. Okay? And the clips are important. So we're going to wrap it under, right? And we got our loop and we have it wrapped under. We're going to put our hand under here. I'm excited to see what this looks like. I don't know if it'll look better or not. I just thought, I was like, well, I've got 3 stitches left. Let me share it and see if it looks good. Because I didn't say in the other video, I don't think, I've seen these on Temu, but they're like nicer, fancier macrame ones. And I've had them in my cart, and then last night or the other day, I don't know what day it is. Okay, so we did our loop, and now we're traveling back down. And we do need a travel stitch on this one. And the ones on Temu are fancier, and they look like macrame, you know. And, but I thought, heck, I could make that. So I did. Now here is our last one. Okay. So this one we're going to clip down. Okay. Now we need to do a travel stitch. And my daughter, she's, you know, young and picky, and, you know, she has her own style and stuff, right? And she, you know, she's like nice, you know, usually just, you know, accommodating when I show her stuff I've made, you know. And this, she was like, oh, I like it. That's cute, you know. And then it was their idea to try the jute, so it looked more natural, you know. Because I had this ball it's like the size of yarn, you know. So if my daughter liked it, I must be onto something here, you know. You know how your kids are, and they're like, roll their eyes like, oh God, Mom. You know, I'll be like, you want one? You want me to make you one? She's like, no, thank you. So here, we're gonna put it under, right? And we got a loop. Now we're gonna reach under our string. As I was doing this, you know, like sometimes when you do something and then you turn on the camera and you're like, okay, let me show him, and then you've not said any of it out loud, and you hadn't considered how you would explain it. Now see, this one came down far enough that I think we can skip the travel stitch down and we'll just come over, because sometimes they just end up a little further down, or it looks a little different. It's just because it's jute string instead of, you know, a little more crude is more forgiving. So anyway, like I was saying, is when sometimes I do videos and then I get stuck in trying to explain it. So this one, after I started, I realized, because I didn't know what I was going to do. Okay, so we're coming under. Okay. Okay, now we're reaching under our string, and you do this however works for you. This is, okay, like I said, after I came up with it, and after a couple of them, it looked like it was going to work. And I was like, hey, I think I'm onto something here. And then I was like, okay, now let me think. How am I going to explain this? How am I going to show them? Instead of just fumbling with the, you know, flip-flopping with the mess, going, see there? You know, figure it out. Like I did. I had to figure it out. You figure it out. No, I'm kidding. I did consider how I would show this as I was doing it. Because like I said, after like 3 or 4, I was like, I think this is going to look pretty good. I was like, how would I explain that? So let's see if that was helpful. So now what we're going to do is we need to cut this string off, and it's going to be easier to weave it in before we cut it off. Okay? And I'm weaving it through some of the stitching just because, to hold it more securely, because if you just weave it through this path between your rows, it's got a lot more give than if you put it under some stitches, under the wraps of the cord. They're tough. Okay? And you can give this a drop of glue or something if it looks like it's going to come undone. But I'm piercing the whole thickness of it, or halfway through the thickness, so I'm catching some of the cord and the wrapped jute. And I'm thinking that is going to be more secure than just going through the looser stuff. I'm trying to bury it. Okay, now let's see. Are we ready to cut it and see if it looks different or better or what we think? Okay. Gosh, this has been hard to wait. But I wanted to wait and do it with you guys so you could see. Let's see if we like this option. Here we go. We're cutting. Here we go. And I'm cutting just enough to cut my loops off. And I showed how to make these tassel pieces in the last video. And I'm cutting just enough to cut the loops off. Okay? We're just giving it a haircut. And let's see how it looks. I hope you like it. I hope it looks good. I hope I didn't just ruin it. But I could take it out if I wanted, but it was a lot of work. Okay. Marty, I believe, said she wanted to see how the jute tassels look. So here you go, Marty. I thought I'd share it too, because since I'm doing something different, I thought I would just add a part 2. Okay? You know, I was past due for a random craft, you know, like I made bags and covered boxes and all this stuff one week. I've been making journals, so I had to throw in something random, right? And you all do that too. If you see something, you know, you can say, hey. I mean, this is a cute gift. And imagine all the string you have. Here's one that I missed. Looky here. And I'll show you how to fix it. See, you can tell that string is not part of the tassel. So, what I do is, if I can get it through there, maybe I'll just use the needle instead of the crochet hook. Looks like the crochet hook is not going to want to go through. Because it's tight. So, there. I don't have a thimble, so I'm just pushing it on the table. Oof. Oof. My hands are hurting from all of this. Okay. So see, we just pulled it out into the tassel. So now we're good. And you know, think about a gift. You know, what means more, a $3 thing from Temu, or which I mean, buy them all. I'm not saying you should. You know, that's a bad thing. I'm sorry if that's your choice of a gift, but I mean, homemade gifts are fun, aren't they? And I mean, you buy everybody whatever you want, and give them all the stuff. You know, whether you make it or buy it. I don't mean anything against buying gifts. I'm sorry. And that looks a little wonky. And I don't know. Let's see. They need trained a little bit. I think they got laid down when I clipped them to the side as I was working, you know. There's a couple of loops. Let's see. What do you think? You can't tell yet. I'll quit and lay it down and let's just see. Tell me which one you like, because I probably will make these for gifts. So tell me what you think. Do I need to work on the tassel look? Or is this looking like tassels? What do you think? And no, it doesn't look like the ones from Temu. It's got a different look to it than macrame. I understand that. I am throwing that piece of string away because it's pretty raggedy. So there. What do we think? Do we like the fringe or the tassel? And I don't think the jute lends itself as well to fringe. I think the jute looks better as a tassel. What do you think? And it is stubborn. You do have to train, or you do have to, you know, get it to cooperate. I think laying it on its side got it bent over that way. We gotta get it out of that funk it was in. Okay? So what do you think? What do you think? I like them. And I was using my other one too. And I don't know if it has an upside and a downside. I don't think it does. I have a glass of Kool-Aid here and I was using it. Cute, cute. See? It works great. I love them. What do you think? Tell me which one you like. Tell me if you like the fringe or the mock tassel. And tell me what you think. If you'll make them. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Bye.